Hello everyone, so I'm gonna give a quick rundown on post-mortem care. Actually I've only ever done it once. That was about a couple years ago. One of the residents passed away on night shift, and this place I did not work at for very long. I think I only worked there for like maybe 3 months or so. And there was a lady that was in the process of passing away. She had the famous death rattle, which is like there's this sound in their throat. It's just, you'll recognize it if you ever are told that a resident is passing, in the process of passing very soon. You will hear that death rattle sound, and this resident was exhibiting those. She was breathing very fast, um, and her heart rate was very high. And I know that we had to keep getting vitals done on her throughout the night, and then me and my coworkers, we were on the hall, and then all of a sudden we were, doing last rounds, just like around 5 o'clock in the morning, and we realized that we didn't hear her breathing, and we freaked out. We went in there, and turns out she had passed probably somewhere between, I think, 3:30 and 5 in the morning. Um, so what was involved with that was, what happened was the resident had I don't know if it was exactly had vomited or not, but basically she had stuff coming out, like secretions coming out of her mouth that was like yellow. It was kind of frothy in a way. And so basically, what with postmortem care, you basically get them cleaned up. Um, you so what we did was we um, we got her, and she was wearing a gown, so we just basically you know got a basin, washcloths, some no rinse body wash, and some no rinse shampoo, a comb and a brush. And so basically we got her all cleaned up, because when you pass, the human body basically just lets go of everything. So she wound up urinating in her brief. She hadn't urinated at all um, throughout the night, so basically her brief was wet. Um, she wound up having like a slight BM. So basically, when someone passes, a lot of the body just kind of lets go, and things um excuse me, things will they loosen up, and things will come out. So basically, they will most likely have a bowel movement. They will most likely void. So postmortem care, part of it, a lot of it is just getting them cleaned up. And basically, I'm sorry I'm rambling and probably not doing the best job at this, but with postmortem care, basically the most basic thing of it is just getting them cleaned up and presentable. So that usually involves, doing bed bath light duties. So you get a basin, you get warm water, washcloths, no rinse body wash, no rinse shampoo. Make it look presentable and clean and everything. So that way, when the funeral home comes to get the body, they don't really have to worry too much about having to clean them up. So basically, that's what postmortem care is. It's very awkward, because we know when you give someone someone that is still alive a bed bath, they're fighting, or they're either moving. And in this particular instance, it's so strange because they're not doing any of that. It's, basically the person's just fully limp from head to toe, and it's almost like, um, I don't know how to really explain it, but it's really strange, because this person's body, is lifeless, and it's very awkward. It can be very uncomfortable for some people. Some people from different cultural backgrounds may not want to engage in that. I know for me, being Native American and Hispanic, with my Native American side, specifically Navajo, it's with tradition and stuff. It's forbidden to deal with that. So um, there are other cultures out there in the world that were doing that type of care may be very culturally sensitive. So most times in that particular case, someone else will do the postmortem care. And I know for me and my other coworker, we had one of our coworkers from another hall help us do it because we hadn't ever dealt with it before and we just felt really uncomfortable. So she did most of it, we helped. And that's basically what it is. And for those of you asking how to deal with death, it's tough. When you take care of the residents and you get attached to them, it's gonna be tough. It feels like almost like losing a family member, one of your own family members, and it is tough. And it's not something that I think maybe in some instances it gets easier as time goes on, but in reality, death is death, and it's hard to deal with. And um, I think the way to look at it is that they're no longer suffering. These people have a lot of, diseases, ailments that are plaguing them, and the way I like to look at it, or at least what I try to look how I try to look at it is they're no longer in pain, they're no longer suffering. So, it's I try to think of it like that, is that they're no longer in pain, they're not suffering anymore, and they're just resting now. So I want to avoid becoming too religious with this. I have my own beliefs, just like everyone else. I'm not trying to push my beliefs on anyone, but to me, once they pass, they're not suffering anymore, they're resting, they're sleeping. So death is a difficult thing to deal with, and it doesn't really get any easier for the most part. It's just, it becomes something that you see all the time and whatever. But for anyone out there that's wondering what it's like, it's very strange. I will tell you that it's very strange, and it feels really awkward. So for the first time, if you're not comfortable, have a coworker or a couple coworkers help you, because generally you may want to have help, especially if this person is maybe obese or heavy set. I know that probably sounds rude, but you will need help to because when someone is lifeless like that and they are no longer alive, there's a lot of dead weight that comes with it, and you don't want to injure yourself doing the postmortem. And sometimes family will be present. Sometimes they won't be there. Sometimes it could be an unexpected passing, and you got to be prepared for when family is there present. If it makes you feel better, maybe asking a coworker or from another station, another hall, someone that you're working with on the same hall, that definitely helps. Especially someone that has done postmortem care before, that really helps. But other than that, those are my tips. Is have someone help you, preferably one more person or another an additional individual, or sometimes even two people. So 3 of you total will help too, especially if the person is heavy set. I would definitely say to not panic, stay calm, just get through the process of getting them cleaned up. They may not be alive anymore, but they still deserve dignity, and they still deserve to be clean, despite it being very hard. But other than that, I don't think I can come up with any other more suggestions, but if I do, I'll definitely do a follow-up video with this. But I appreciate you all giving me some questions to answer, and I hope that there are more questions that you all want answered, and I don't mind answering. Thanks. and don't forget to push subscribe and to like my video. Thanks.